lovely Yvonne de la Vega.
Hi. This is the first poem I wrote ever, and it was a request from Michael Lally and Eve. It's called Everything Pink.
Pull your hair over here, honey. I can't see it all.
On this side?
Oh, back behind your ears. Back. Yeah.
Would I like to stand like this?
Thanks.
All right. I closed my eyes and I became her size and I walked through Barbie's dream house. A pink vanity, a large poodle named Prince, a king-size bed with dust ruffles, and outside a pink convertible. Pink. Everything pink. Boy blue, girl pink, everything. Everything pink. And when I opened my eyes, her head was torn off, and her body was somewhere around here. Right here, I pick her up. She had nipples drawn on sloppily with a green marker, so her left nipple was higher than the right, and looking back, well, that's accurate. They didn't know what I knew. They just locked me in my room, beat me first, shut the door, and from behind it said something about Equus. I should have gouged her eyes out, too, so she wouldn't have to suffer the sight of reality should her pink convertible happen to take the wrong turn through the east side, and she realized that her dream house was just a waste of space, and that the hip color was not pink, but every shade of gray. I should have given her gray nipples out of pity, but there was only green, and I thought it was good, green nipples being more real than no nipples. And I hoped and I prayed that when I grew up, my tits would be as big as Barbie's. I looked at myself. I had nipples. They said she was expensive, that when they bought her, they had to have the dream house, too. That every little girl with a Barbie had Barbie's wardrobe, pink and blue. So I take Barbie's clothes off, put on her evening gown of gold and gold lame, gold spiked heels at the end of the longest legs I'd ever seen, and golden hair, long, straight, and beautiful. This is what I'm going to look like when I grow up. Ken rings the doorbell. He has on his tux. And now I gotta know now what the executives at Mattel look like on the top floors of their executive suites in downtown El Segundo, and do they wear tux to work? Louis Estrada. He worked at Mattel in the assembly line, not the high-rise, no, the hangar, building number 9. Louis was my big sister's friend from the borderline of the next barrio La Raza. Did the men who made Barbie look kind of like Louis, a tough and tattooed Pachuco, or did they look like Ken? I thought not, you know. Ken did not have a penis. Why did they do that? I didn't know the words for how I felt back then, but I do now. See, Barbie and Ken were not real. They were thrust in our faces as the ideal. Big tits, long legs, dream house, car, money, and now we have boob jobs, liposuction, tummy tucks, and the gym, street hustlers, corporate hustlers, fast bucks, and the shape we're in, 32 forms of anxiety. Barbie and Ken were the perfect Republicans. No nipples and no dicks. Barbie opens the door. Ken, she says, do come in. Ken says, you look lovely in your gown, and my daddy walks by the room short and brown, and it makes me sad. 20 years of naval dedication, his goal to become an officer. In the 18th year, he's given that title. Well, not quite officer, but just a tad short of it. Chief Petty Officer. Petty. Chief Petty Officer. It's not because he wasn't white. Nah, it's not because he wasn't white. So Ken says, we must go or we'll be late for the show. And they go, Ken driving Barbie's pink convertible. They pull into the drive-in. Barbie's screaming because some guy dressed up like an ugly old woman is chopping up a beautiful young woman in the shower. The one in the shower looks kind of like Barbie to me, so my next game is Barbie in her pink bathtub getting chopped to pieces by Ken in Barbie's gold lame gown. This time, a red marker all over her body and the bathtub, too. They beat me again. They said I should respect the doll. It wasn't the beating that made me cry. That was old world. That's where they come from. It wasn't the beating that made me cry. It was the accusation of not liking the gift they gave me. Every little girl had a Barbie, they said. I did like Barbie. I loved her. And now she was to be confined to her dream house where she would never step out and see my world. She couldn't really come out to play. She was different. She was a woman that had never had a childhood. I knew that when you're a kid, you don't live all by yourself in a huge pink fucking house. You share one room with your 4 brothers and sisters. You don't sleep alone in a king-size bed with a pink canopy. You sleep 2 in a twin size under a mosquito net. Poor Barbie, she didn't have a clue. There was one bright light for Barbie. Little boy down the street, little black boy, he was sweet. Said, when I grow up, I want to marry a girl that just like Barbie. And that made me happy. So those guys in Mattel did one thing right. They gave us all an American dream that a black boy can dream of marrying a queen with skin white as cream. That when we all grow up, we're all going to live in huge pink houses and we're all going to look like Angeline and be happy. Yeah. So let's raise a toast to the guys in Mattel that promise our children life won't be hell, not gray, but pink. Everything pink. Boy blue, girl pink, everything, everything pink. And the next poet is M.K. Harris.